what does SGA need to do to pass KD and Russ as the greatest Thunder of all time?
Let's talk about SGA. The greatest Thunder of all time.
A championship for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander would not only make him the greatest Thunder, it ensures his statue at the tender age of 26.
There have been talks about who's the greatest player in Thunder history. Do you go Kevin Durant, who won an MVP with the team in 2014, led them to a finals appearance in 2012, and is one of the greatest players of this generation? Do you go Russell Westbrook, who made history by averaging a triple-double in his MVP season, the franchise leader in points, and kept the Thunder franchise afloat after KD left? What about Gary Payton, who was with the team when they were in Seattle, won a Defensive Player of the Year, took the team to a finals appearance in 1996, and leads the franchise in many stat categories? Or is the greatest Thunder Shai Gilgeous-Alexander? Now, just to be clear, we're talking about the greatest player for that franchise, not the greatest player to have ever played for that team. But that being said, it's hard to say which player is the greatest for the Thunder. Do you value longevity of the player's career in that organization over team success in a shorter period of time? To make a correct assessment of this, let's look at some other teams in the NBA and who would be the greatest player for that organization. Of course, there are some organizations that have undisputed greatest players of their franchise. The Bulls got Michael Jordan, the Cavs got LeBron James, the Mavericks got Dirk Nowitzki. Those are undoubtedly the greatest players of their franchise. But then you have other franchises, like the Lakers or the Celtics, that have a couple players that you can say are the greatest of their organization. And you can't be wrong about who you say. You can say Magic or Kobe for the Lakers, you can say Bird or Bill Russell for the Celtics, but no matter who you say, you won't be wrong. But then there are those mid-tier organizations, the franchises that don't have a certified guy, but have made it to choose from. Like the Raptors. You have all-time players like Vince Carter, DeMar DeRozan, and Kyle Lowry. But none of those guys did what Kawhi Leonard did for them in the 1 year he was there, winning a championship and having one of the greatest playoff runs of all time. So if you say Vince or DeMar as the greatest, then you value longevity and culture over team success. If you say Kawhi, then you value team success over longevity. But saying this, there are flaws to both arguments. Instead of giving the teams and the players to you guys, let me give you two anonymous guys from an organization, and let's see who you pick as the greatest of that franchise. First is player 1, who spent 769 games with the team, leads the franchise in points with 19,376, is second in assists with 5,151, is a 7-time All-Star with the team, and spent 11 seasons with the franchise. Player 2 played 209 games on this team, spent 4 seasons a part of this organization, scored only 3,578 points with this franchise, won an MVP, won a championship, and won a finals MVP with this team. Who's the best player in this team's organization? Have your guess? Player 1 is Damian Lillard, while player 2 is Bill Walton while on the Portland Trail Blazers. There's arguments to both sides. But you're telling me if I asked you, who's the greatest Trailblazer of all time? You're saying Bill Walton? I don't think so. You're either saying Damian Lillard or Clyde Drexler, who are both good options. Now let's go to a different organization with the same scenario as the Thunder and the Blazers. Who's the greatest Knick of all time? I'll give you guys a few options. We got Walt Frazier, Willis Reed, Patrick Ewing, and if you're too young, you can say Carmelo Anthony. From the jump, from my experience, Patrick Ewing is usually regarded as the greatest Knick when people are asked this question. And I agree. He was the franchise leader in almost every category, like points, rebounds, blocks, steals, games played, many categories in Knicks history. He was also an 11-time All-Star, 3-time All-Defensive Team, 7-time All-NBA, one of the top 75 players of all time. A completely valid argument for the greatest Knick. But if you value team success over longevity, culture, and impact, then you say Walt Frazier or Willis Reed, which I disagree. I understand the championships they won in 70 and 73 are very impactful and should not go unrecognized. But Patrick Ewing made such an impact on New York and was such a great player for the Knicks that you can't not say he's the greatest Knick of all time. Not convinced? I'll give you guys one more example before getting into what's happening in OKC. Who's the greatest 76er? The first guy to probably go to your head is Allen Iverson, and rightfully so. Or if you're a little older, you might go with the legend Dr. J, Julius Erving, who makes just as much of a case as AI. But if you value championships over anything, then Moses Malone is your guy. A player that led the 76ers to a final sweep of the dominant Los Angeles Lakers and won the finals MVP. But surely you can't justify putting Malone over Irving and Iverson, especially for what they did for the city of Philadelphia. Malone was only there for 4 years. Iverson and Irving were there for 10 plus seasons. There are so many factors that come into play when you say who's the greatest player of that franchise. Whether it's team success, longevity, culture, or impact on that fan base. But all of those things need to be considered in this situation with the OKC Thunder. I think we can all agree that Gary Payton, Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander are candidates for the greatest player of this franchise. Gary Payton and Westbrook are the all-time leaders in the important stat categories. But because Gary Payton doesn't have an MVP, I can't put him over Westbrook, so I won't include him in this. Now with these other 3 guys, they all have MVPs. KD made 6 All-NBA teams, Westbrook made 8 All-NBA teams, and Shai only has 3 All-NBA selections. KD was with them for 9 seasons, Westbrook had 11 seasons, and Shai has 6 seasons and counting. So far, it looks like Shai has a ways to go. But what will a championship do for him this season? Does that lift him high enough to get past KD and Westbrook? In my professional opinion, I think Shai has a small ways to go if he wins the championship this season. I think the reason we are having this conversation is recency bias, and we forget what kind of an impact Westbrook made on this organization. After this season, Shai will be 6th in points, 10th in assists, and nowhere close to the top 10 of any other all-time major statistical category in this franchise's history. Let the Thunder win this championship this season, and I give Shai 2 more years until he's on the top of the Thunder Mount Rushmore. Maybe 1 if he can somehow go back-to-back. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. All that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later.